Good morning. I hope that woke everybody up.
Yeah, that-
The board workshop for February 27, 2024 um, will begin. Thank you, everyone who is in attendance for this very important topic. Before Superintendent Ayers begins discussing today's topic, I'm going to ask him to comment briefly on the Community Investment Tax, the CIT, that the Board of County Commissioners discussed during the February 14th, 2024 workshop. Board members, as you are aware, a letter was sent to the County Commissioners from myself and Mr. Ayers explaining this important investment in our schools. Mr. Ayers, thank you for discussing this in your opening remarks as a follow-up to Sunday's article in the Tampa Bay Times. And as a halt for a moment, happy birthday,
Mr. Porter.
Mr. Porter.
Thank you, Ms. Perez. So, yeah, today's topic on our workshop is around our millage referendum that we look to take before a board meeting in April. But before we do that, I did want to talk just a second about the community investment tax. The community investment tax has been essential for Hillsborough County Public Schools from 1996 upon its inception. So just some numbers I wanted to highlight. So through 2022, we received more than $655 million through the community investment tax. In the past 25 years, interesting to note just some of the things around it, we built Riverview High School, Shields Middle, Davis Elementary, all with CIT funds. In addition, $176 million in renovations and remodels have been completed. Jefferson, Plant City, Brandon, Tampa Bay Tech. Also, we purchased $57 million of new buses and utilized 15.8 for major bus repairs. And it's also funded $63.5 million in major maintenance projects, 51.7 in major roofing projects, and 50.4 in HVAC projects as well. So as we look to the future, I just want to make it clear to the community that Hillsborough County Public Schools, it is essential, very important for us to be included in some capacity in the next community investment tax. Just to kind of highlight what our future capital needs there are in the future, I think it's important to know we're going to get into this in the presentation a little bit, the difference between our capital dollars and our operating dollars. The millage referendum we're going to talk about today is on our operating side, so we're going to spend a little bit of time, just a few minutes, kind of talking the difference between capital and operating. So thank you, Ms. Perez, for bringing this up, because the community investment tax cannot be used for operating costs. It is strictly capital costs. So capital needs that we have over the next coming years are the following. We have Plant City Career Center, Plant City High School, Plant City Elementary, Waimama High School that we're still finishing up, Waimama Middle, Waimama Elementary, which ideal projection total cost is around $454 million. How we build schools, I think it's important for everyone to realize, is we build schools based on impact fees. And we've gone through the county, and the county has been very gracious with us and working with us over the last number of years in raising our impact fees to around $8,000. It started around $4,000 many years back, and is now at $8,000. With the $8,000 in impact fees, that only generates about $210 million. So the need for Hillsborough County Public Schools on the capital side is approximately $244 million. Yes, sir.
And I think it's important just so everyone understands school impact fees are entirely under the control of the county commission. This board has no ability to raise them or lower them. That's the county commission's purview. So it's important for people to understand that. We don't have any control over that.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. And you'll see as we look at some of our capital and how we generate dollars for capital, it's based on our 1.5 mils that, by the way, in 2007 was at 2 mils, and it dropped to 1.75 in 2008, and it's now at 1.5 and has remained 1.5 mils since then to today. So there is a need that's there for Hillsborough County Public Schools on our capital side, which I think you'll start to see in a little bit around our community investment tax. We did send a letter from myself and the chair, and I'll also be meeting with county commissioners in the next coming weeks to let them know of the need of Hillsborough County Public Schools and how essential, including education, in the community investment tax is. Mr. Farkas, did you want to add anything on CIT? Because a lot is the capital, which is your building side.
No, you covered it pretty well, so I'm glad we've had a lot of conversations. You covered it. Just an important part is the bucket of capital costs, and the sales tax referendum, as we talked about, we went out to the public, was for deferred maintenance. New construction was not in that budget. We budgeted out almost all those dollars for years 1 through 10, and we bucketed 1 through 5 and 6 through 10. New construction was not really part of that conversation, even though it's an allowable cost. That money is spoken for from a deferred maintenance standpoint. To a large majority, there's definitely not $244 million in that bucket. So if we don't get it through the CIT, then we'll have to come back to the board. And we've heard conversations, Ms. Brendan and a couple of the board members have brought that up, about how we plan on meeting the needs for growth. And so CIT is one way to meet that need.
So we'll be, like I mentioned earlier, we'll be meeting with county commissioners. My hope is that we will be included in that community investment tax in the near future. But just to reiterate, $454 million of future projected growth in the areas that I mentioned. Impact fees will generate around $210, which that additional funding is that we would require will be around $244 million. Okay. So that is our CIT. So again, that is on the operating side, the capital side of our budget. What we're going to talk about today, I'm going to start really in general. This millage conversation really revolves around our operating budget. So we're going to go through and talk about the difference between capital and operating, what the differences are there, and how this ask and this to our community around our 1 mil for our referendum, for our millage side, operating side, and what the need is and why it's there. But board members, I just want to remind us that this is a board workshop. This is an agenda item that's going to come before you on April 2nd. So we still have a month before this agenda item comes to you for a vote. So this is something I'd like to see us utilize in the near future, as me bringing forward an agenda item to get your feedback. So we're here listening. My staff is here. Any feedback that you provide for us before that agenda item finally comes before you on April the 2nd. So, of course, our strategic plan is built around our pillars of supportive organizational culture, exceptional talent, fiscal and operational responsibility, which is really this is the base for our ultimate goal of achieving academics across this entire school district. And this millage, as we'll talk about here in the future, how that details into our strategic plan and our pillars. One thing that's important. That as we talk through this today, it's important to realize is there's 5 learning levers that drive our student achievement, and it's really around teachers, school leaders, instruction, attendance, and family and community involvement. Our millage hits each one of these additional, as we become to retain and recruit our highly competitive workforce. Number 1 lever overall, as we all know, is a stable teacher over time, along number 2 with a school leader over time. All the research, all of it shows is having a highly qualified teacher over time along with that school leader. And then finally around attendance, number 4, making sure that our students are on time. Our focus is really been around attendance. So what that gets to then for us, as I move to the next slide, is some of how this need is to be addressed with this referendum that we're looking at. So I talked about our strategic plan pillars. As you can see within that strategic plan, we have our priorities around early childhood literacy, 3rd grade reading proficiency, and our graduation benchmarks. Our challenges that we face right now that this referendum and this millage looks to address, as we look at the very bottom, this is our current challenge, and this is a challenge that we are experiencing. That is, it's if we want our students to thrive, and again, this all comes back to having what's best for our students in our classrooms. That starts with them being at school on time every single day. So just if we look at 220 vacancies around bus drivers, please know that we have over 800 scheduled routes for our bus drivers. We only have about 600 bus drivers currently. So that is 200 drivers that are doing what we all refer to as a double run, finishing one run, going to the next. But what that in turn, by not having a full workforce around our bus drivers, is we have students that are not making it to school on time. So if we look at that 4 lever around attendance, this on here in the bottom with our bus drivers are getting to schools on time. We've got to get a grapple on that. I can't have students late to first period every single day, and that is a challenge that we're facing right now. And as we look across the board, we started the year with over 400 vacancies. We continue to have the vacancies and the need that's there. This is what, as I mentioned at the board meeting, this is what keeps me up at night, this slide right here. That is why we're going, my recommendation to taxpayers, which I'll outline here shortly, is to address this need. So I don't take this, this is serious to me. I would not be going and asking for this unless it addresses a need. What I'm asking for addresses the need across the bottom line here. We have to, if we looked at our top 5, our levers, this addresses that. We have to have a highly qualified teacher over time and a highly qualified leader over time. Just some data as well. You can see where we rank. This is on the U.S. Census Bureau. Florida ranks 50 out of 50 on spending on teacher pay and benefits, and that's why our Hillsborough students need us to find a way to keep our great teachers in front of them. What's keeping us afloat right now, and I'll say it, and I've said it before, is we are Hillsborough strong. As I get through some of these later slides, you'll see where we compare in revenue that other school districts are allowed to, that are generating, that we are not generating. I am thankful for my staff across this entire school district that have been part of Hillsborough County Public Schools for 20, 30, 40, some of them even 50 years. So this is some of the Census Bureau information around our teachers and, our need. When you look at this, then you start to realize, to slides I'm going to get to later, around other school districts that have gone out and asked for additional revenue around a mill so they can offset this right here. Okay, so I want to make a couple things clear right here. So we have 2 buckets, and this is not that complicated. I think sometimes we get through education funding, we tend to think it's overly complicated. It's not. We have two buckets of revenue that are generated. We have capital and operating. I'm going to start just a little bit on the capital side because it's important to know a lot of people on the understanding of how capital dollars are generated. Here's what's important to know. On our capital side, capital dollars are generated only on our property taxable land value, period. Okay, let me say that again. Our capital dollars, different from operating, our capital dollars are generated on one factor, and that factor is, what is our taxable land value? All right, so I'm going to give everyone a few minutes. See the number of students. If everyone looks at the, if you take a look at either your PowerPoint, if you look at across at number of students has nothing to do with this calculation. The FEFP on the operating side, which we'll talk about shortly, does an excellent job of equalizing funding based on number of students. Capital does not. Capital dollars are generated just on your 1.5 mills. We are, in Hillsborough County, we are a property poor, student-rich district. We are a property poor, student-rich district. Here are your numbers across the bottom. If we take a look, you will see the amount of monies that have been generated. We generate approximately $250 million off of our 1.5 mil, which is generated off that $174 billion of taxable land value. You see what we generate per student. Again, capital dollars are generated only on taxable land value. That's why we all hear property rich, student poor districts. Property poor, student rich, as an example, if we look all the way to the right, if we look at Sarasota County, Collier County, in Naples, those are considered property rich, student poor districts, meaning they generate a lot of money for their property taxes on their taxable land value, but they don't have that many kids. So if you break it down per student, you can see there how it's broken down, how much is generated per student. This is why, on the capital side, again, we're still on capital, this is why on the capital side there was the urgent need in 2015 and 2016 around what Mr. Farkas mentioned earlier, a half-penny sales tax. We didn't have the dollars generated on our capital side because remember, it's not generated based on students, it's just generated on land value. That's why it was the urgent need back in 2016 around getting that half-penny sales tax passed. Okay? So, again, capital is generated, your revenue is based on taxable land value, period. That's it. What you get in is the monies that are generated. Then that capital dollars is used for our buildings and our maintenance. Okay, so then we move to our half-penny sales tax. So, Mr. Farkas, anything I missed? And then we're basically halfway through our half-penny, 5 years, and the team, the Citizen Oversight Committee, everywhere I go, from the needs of our schools being met, it has been just an amazing, it has been a game changer for Hillsborough County Public Schools to get our half-penny sales tax passed in 2018. Mr. Farkas.
So, Superintendent Ayers, I appreciate the opportunity. It's important to note that we're halfway through, which means half the projects are not done. I think sometimes when we saw that it passed, we thought everything was going to be done instantaneously. That being said, to Mr. Ayers' point, it has been a game changer. The amount of work we've been able to do over the course of the last 5 years is incredible. We talked about a half-penny promise and a half-penny promise kept. we've done a lot of work about making sure we're transparent, whether it's through the website, through the Citizens Oversight Committee, making sure that every dollar that's spent, the community knows where that's spent, with pictures, with actual dollar figures that go along with it, and the backup documentation to do that. So far, we've earned, and this was as of a month ago, $662 million. We've done over 700 projects with that. There's been 120 air conditioners that have already been rehauled, either revamped or totally replaced in there, which has affected about 3 million square feet worth of air conditioned space. There are tons more projects that you'll see every summer. We'll continue to do that, but we're halfway through. And we also have a litmus test. We said we do projects in years 1 through 5 and years 6 through 10 in our buckets. So we check on that. We are over 50% done with all of our projects. So we're actually ahead of the game a little bit when it comes to that. We were front loaded with air conditioning projects because that was our greatest need. We still have a bunch that are on there, but we've done more than 50% of those projects. Other things that are behind the scenes that were great needs are things like elevator modernizations. Most schools have one elevator, and when something breaks, it's hard to get replacement parts, so you have to modernize that. That's something we're almost 80% of the way done with that over that 10-year period. So some things we've been able to move ahead at a quicker pace. So it's important to understand that we want to make sure the community knows they had faith in us, which has been very important to affect our students, and hopefully we've kept that promise and have shown that through there. So that's our capital side of the house, and the rest of our conversation is going to focus on the other side of the house.
Yeah, so this is years 1 to 5, 10, and what Mr. Farkas mentioned earlier, I want to reiterate is, remember, years 6 through 10 is spoken for. There was a plan already for those 10 years of exactly what was good, this money was going to be used for. So as remember from my earlier conversation around CIT, those projected growth needs that we see, the half-penny sales tax already has outlined years 1 through 5, which are already completed, and then 6 through 10, exactly what was going to be taken care of within that side of the half-penny. We still have the need with our growth in Plant City, Waimama particularly, of future growth needs that impact fees will not meet that need. That is our ask. As I move then, so that's our capital side, and I need to just summarize it again. Capital is generated the revenue just on property tax land value only. There's no equity to how capital dollars are given out to school districts. It's just based on the 1.5 mils. So now we're going to flip now to the operating side. So capital is complete. Now we'll move to the operating side. So I have my Chief Financial Officer, Ms. Roe Johnson, here as well. We're going to move on to the next slide, but we know how critical it is for us to be excellent stewards of our dollars. And our finance team, our entire team over the last, particularly 2 to 3 years, have done an amazing job of making sure, as we overhaul our finances, that we are stewards of the dollars we receive from our taxpayers. So our next slide, I'm going to have Ms. Johnson just kind of highlight some of the things, our financial overhaul, some of the bond rating updates we have. So, Chief Johnson.
Good morning, board members and superintendent. Yes, it's a financial overhaul for our operation fund. So it was in partnership with the board to ensure fiduciary responsibility. We have done the following things to the district to make sure we are responsible as a district. We accurately reconcile student enrollment to ensure we get the appropriation from the state. We want to make sure we have the count right so that the district get what the required allocation for our appropriation. We allocate in union based on enrollment projections and state model requirement. We're living within that model, and we're allocating based on those counts. We ensuring the hiring of staff is not just done willy-nilly. We make sure we have the resources available in the budget before we go out and hire staff in any resource. We have realigned the restricted and unrestricted resources by not supplementing, not supplanting, because that happens a lot, and we want to ensure that those restricted resources are impactful for student learning. Also, we redefine the capital transfer process, make sure that we're following state statutes when we allocate those resources, because the capital does not have salaries or benefits, but in the statute we can make those transfers for allocations or expenditures that happen on operational funds. So we're doing that within the statute. We're doing a multi-year forecast, and projection is required, and it should be always done. We're projecting out for 5 years. It's required by the bond. It impacts our rating and see if we're stabilizing as a district or the district is heading for receivership. Also, we're restructuring our current workforce with the allocated resources based on attrition. So when we realign the district, when people leave or retire, we'll look at it and reset and say, hey, where we need staffing, and we allocate appropriately. So the results of all that, which is a heavy lift, financial overhaul, we have a balanced operating budget that expenditures are less than our revenue currently with the district. We have a healthy and stable fund balance. In 21, when I first came in, That's when I came in. The district was projecting a $150 million deficit. When we were closing the books, we were still closing at a negative 21. We had 45 million restricted. But before we closed the books, we were able with one-time resources to close that fund balance to be $147 million. And from that to date, 2023, when we closed that, we are at 330 million. So we are fiduciary responsible, which is 20%. The state requirement is 3%. So we're living with that. Our bond rating has been upgraded to affirmative A rating, and the outlook is from negative to stable from all our rating agencies. We just haven't heard from Moody's yet. Going forward, when we heard from Moody's, I'm quite sure they're going to confirm that A affirm rating, and also we're not going to have that negative outlook anymore from all our rating agencies. And last but not least, the district have had no findings in our financial statement audit, so that's a plus for the team, the finance team.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. So just to kind of piggyback on some of the comments that Ms. Johnson shared with us, just around right-sizing our workforce. Actually, when I came in as deputy superintendent in 2015, you can see the number of permanent employees that we had in 2015 as we look to right-size our workforce. You can see that work's been done in the last 9 years to get to right-sizing our workforce. And just within some of that, so in 2015, we had almost 16,000 teachers, 15,952. We currently sit at 13,495. So you can see the reduction. And that, I think some of our board members remember the Council for Great City Schools, also in our other audits that talked about that we had too many teachers, our class size was too low. So this was all work that's been done over the last 9 years. That's why my ask is now we have done our part to right size, and as we look to then position ourselves to accelerate over the next number of years. Interesting. So teachers, APs, in 2015 we had 450. We currently sit about 388 right now. So you can see reduction in APs and district administrators in 2015 we sat at 354, and currently we sit at 309. Support personnel, 9755 in 2015. We currently sit at 8954. Okay, so this is probably the most important slide, so I want to make sure that we all have a good understanding of our two funding buckets. So remember, again, I've said it 10 times, we'll say it 11th. Capital is not generated on students. Capital is just generated on your property taxable land values. You get what you get. That's why the need for the half penny. The FEFP is a incredible system at equalizing funding. The FEFP that all the districts in the state of Florida participate in equalizes funding based on number of students. So you don't have property-rich school districts that have a huge advantage over other school districts that are property poor. That's why the state created the FEFP. It is a phenomenal system. One looked across the nation of how your funding is equalized and equitable for the many factors which in it. We've all seen the FEFP, most of us, and we see it's a very complicated formula. But what's important to know is it equalizes funding. So if we take a look here, you can see that where we sit in state funding is where? We are third. Why are we third? Because we're the third largest school district in the state of Florida. Again, phenomenal system. It makes it fair. Makes it fair based on number of students. So Miami-Dade receives the most funding. They have the most students. Broward second, Hillsborough third, and then Orange and the rest. What has happened? So fair playing field FEFP based on number of students. Fantastic. What has happened over the last 16 years is the issue that Hillsborough County Public Schools need to address right now. Important to note that state statute allows counties to levy an additional mill for additional operating costs. Again, state statute allows, on top of the FEFP, school districts, counties, to levy an additional mill for operating costs. Here's the issue. This is on top of the FEFP. So if we look at your greens, and I'll take everyone just a minute to look at the additional revenue that's being brought into other school districts across the state of Florida. Every school district listed there is listed in green, has additional revenue for operating costs. Again, additional revenue for operating costs. In a school district, what is majority of operating costs? Salaries. We cannot compete with salaries when we have additional revenue that's being brought in that we do not have. It's not a level playing field anymore. If we were just on an FEFP formula and there was not this drastic certain of every school district around us that has this additional revenue, I would not be coming to taxpayers right now asking, but this is a desperate time for us. We have a huge number of vacancies. This is what, like I said earlier, this is what keeps me up at night. This is our challenge that we're facing. I would not be bringing this unless this is this would help us address this challenge. So if we look across the top again, you can see all the additional revenue. And I'll add this, the top top 6 largest school district, and I'll even go 7 with Pinellas. Miami-Dade is number 1. They have the additional 1.0 operating millage. Broward has it, number 2. We're 3, we don't. Orange is 4, they have it. Palm Beach has it, they're 5. Duval has it, they're 6. And Pinellas is 7, and they have an additional operating millage as well. Again, so it's additional revenue that's being brought in. Additional revenue on operating always goes to salaries. That's what it is. That's why we are having the struggle we're having of competing, of retaining and recruiting the best teachers for Hillsborough County Public Schools. That is a challenge we're facing. There's no other way around it. I have teachers that are leaving. I have employees that are going to other counties, which we'll look at in a minute, because they're just looking for an additional $2,000 to $3,000. Next slide kind of sums it up. So here's a visual, as you can see. So not only are we at a challenge that we of the top 7 school districts in the state of Florida where we stand, you can see what surrounds us. And we are surrounded by counties that have additional revenue on top of the FEFP. And we'll move to the next in a second. But again, FEFP equalizes funding based on students. All this additional revenue comes in, now puts us at a disadvantage to compete. We're only sitting where we are right now is because of our Hillsborough Strong employees that have been in this district for 30 years and longer, that are keeping us afloat. We've got to do something to help recruit. And the other part that I'll get to in a minute is that we've got to start building our bench. Our bench begins at recruiting our teachers into our school district at 22, 23 years old that exit their university, that can then build their career through Hillsborough County Public Schools. I'm not getting our teachers and staff in the early years because they're going to other school districts. This is an opportunity that, again, I'm asking. We are at a severe disadvantage when it comes to being able to compete with salaries when you look at surrounding school districts around us that all have additional revenue. Again, 20th time. If it was all based on equalized funding, we're all in the same game, that's one thing. We are not in the same game right now because of additional operating millage. So as an example here, and we're moving towards the end here. As you kind of see, you can see where our starting teacher salaries are, 10-year teacher salaries. I'll give you just a few minutes to kind of take a look. Average bus driver salary, still leaving all the work that Mr. Farkas and Ms. Johnson have done, even in the last go-around with bargaining, working with HSEF and CTA, we still are lagging behind. Why are we lagging behind? Well, I think everyone can see now. It's just we don't have the revenue that other school districts are bringing in. So you can see there where what particularly bothers me about this one, I mean, all of them, right? But if you look at our 2 top levers, remember, was teacher overtime. Number 2 was leader overtime. If you look at our average, the one that really stands out is the average assistant principal salary with our administrators. As we look to build great leaders, we know number 1 is teachers, having a high quality teacher overtime, but number 2 on that list is having a high quality leader overtime. And as you can see where we are lagging behind on some of our salaries. What all this, I know we're talking salaries, but remember, this comes back to having our students succeed. How do they succeed? Number 1, high quality teacher overtime, high quality leader overtime. This ask that I'm coming to the board with in April provides us the ability to start building our bench and to start building our employees to have a career in Hillsborough County Public Schools. So our millage is our promising solution, of course, a detailed plan, which I'm going to actually go through in just a second. Financial transparency, know that we will have an oversight committee that will oversee every single one of these dollars and how they're spent. And then remember, different than, this is what's interesting to know about the operating millage. This is different from our half penny, which can be 10 or 20 years. The millage is a maximum of 4 years. So all we'll talk about, these are, if it's salaries, these are supplements, that after 4 years, it does have to be re-upped again. Okay, so we take a look of what this might look like. This 1 mil, as we looked at the slides earlier, what that generates. Remember, again, just like the 1.5 mils, the 1 mil that we would generate is just based on what? Your taxable land value. It's not based on students. So this is in addition to that. On 1 mil on our taxable land value would bring in about $177 million. Charter schools get their proportionate share, which is going to be at $26.6 million, which leaves us around $154 million to district schools. Important to note on cost, please note, a mil is $1 per thousand. So as we look to, as you calculate that out, again, that's on your taxable value, right? Not what your home is worth, it's what your taxable land, what your taxable value of your home is. So the average home value on average is $375,000. If you take away the homestead exemption, you're at $350. So that's $1 per every thousand. So the average homeowner would be at $350 a year. In addition, on top of their current property taxes, which would average about to $1 a day. All right, so now we get into the nitty-gritty. What does this look like? Board members, I'm coming with a pretty aggressive plan of what my proposal is, and again, I look forward to some of the feedback later today during our conversation. And we're getting to the end, but this is my proposal. As we look if I could kind of push you to the projected millage revenue. If you look at the millage revenue, that would generate $176,988,000. Again, the projected, it goes to charter, that $26 million. Leaves the very bottom, the projected district school portion would be $150 million. Here's my proposal, and it's pretty straight and simple. 92% of that millage I would want to go to salaries. So if we looked at the $150 million, 92% of that is the $138 million, which is on your bottom right. That's $138 million. How that $138 million in my proposal would be broken out would be 70% of that would go to teachers. So if we look across, now I'm going to flip you to the left side where it says teachers, support staff, administrators. A little over 13,000 teachers, support staff a little over 9,000, and then administrators less than 1,000. So as you break up that 92%, from the $150 million, the 92% is $138 million. How that $138 million would be broken out would be the following. 70% of the dollars to teachers, because there's more of them. So each teacher would get a supplement of $6,000 to their base salary. Support staff, all support staff, $3,000. And administrators, we talked about our school leaders earlier, $6,000 as well. So you can see 70, 25, and 5. So the plan is 92% of the dollars, the $138 million, goes broken out this way. $6,000 for every teacher. In my proposal, it is the same across the board, whether I'm a first-year teacher or a 10-year teacher. This then would push my, as I talked about my bench earlier, building our bench and building our support staff and teachers that enter Hillsborough County Public Schools. It would put our starting teacher salary from $47,500. That, of course, would push us to $50 to $53. So 92% of the dollars, again, in my proposal, would go towards salaries, and it would leave another 8%, which is the very bottom right, is approximately $11,500,000 that would go to some other instructional programs. But remember, most of our operating budget is salaries. I wanted most of this mill to go to salaries. This addresses the need. This, for me, what I talked about earlier, all the vacancies we have in having people that enter Hillsborough County schools, county public schools, I want them to be in our system, just like some of the people that are behind me and myself that enter Hillsborough County and stay for 30, 35 years. This addresses the need of bus driver vacancies. It'll help us get all of Mr. Farkas's 800 routes, having 800 drivers next year. Of our additional 400 vacancies that we have, filling those 400 spots. This raises the floor for us and makes us ultra competitive in recruiting and retaining our workforce. So very clear, I think. 92% to salaries. The other 8% would then go to other instructional programs. We're almost to the end. I'm just going to kind of highlight some of those other instructional programs, and then we'll open up to some conversation. So the last the 8% other instructional programs, one of the things that we would like to do is learning trips for every grade, which would include new hands-on experiences to take students beyond classroom walls at no cost to students, which includes transportation. This would mean field trips from pre-K all the way up that we would provide to our school district, which would provide learning experiences at no cost for our students outside the classroom. We would utilize our partners that are within our community that partner with us all the time already. I'm not going to sit and name them all off, but we have partnerships, of course, with everyone who knows our fifth grade with BizTown Finance Park, sixth grade Nature's Classroom. We have great partners at MOSI, great partners at the Glaser Museum. These would be experiences that we provide for our students outside of the current outside of the classroom. Very excited about what this new monies would do for a new vision for our Nature's Classroom. Everyone that's been in Hillsborough County remembers Nature's Classroom and their experience. It's time for us to do some new things at Nature's Classroom, which we can balance out between some capital costs, but also on the operating side with instructional of our new vision for Nature's Classroom and what that then would look like, for as a learning center along the Hillsborough River. So these are some examples. One of the ones that I also am pretty passionate about is to ensure that with this extra 8% on instructional programs, we have heard the need. Again, all of this is around addressing needs that we have. We've all heard, sitting around this table, the need for our college and career counselors at every high school. They were removed in 2020. And we've heard about it, and we know the need. Our students need our college and career counselors at every high school. When that workload got moved from our college and career counselors, that was their primary focus, and got moved to guidance counselor, it became one more thing for our guidance counselors. And we've even Chair Perez, we've had discussions around our guidance counselors and how we can make sure that they're doing what we need them to do. This would be a step in the right direction of providing those college and career counselors at every high school. And finally, some other ones with some new sports options, the PE equipment. It's important. What I hear as well, and Ms. Vaughn, even I think you had mentioned to me as we were at the student forum, hearing from our students, extracurricular activities is something that they want to see more of. Our extracurricular activities, Mr. Robinson budget, comes from our operating side. That is an operating side of our budget. We generate monies through our ticket sales, but not enough to cover all the costs that we have. So our athletics, we look to do some innovative things around athletics and our PE as well. Some final things here. Oversight and accountability steps. Of course, an independent oversight committee similar to the one that we have for the half penny that will review every dollar spent, detailed spending plan, and then written agreement with our partners. Our partners are here with today from HSAF and CTA. So Iran, Rob, thank you for being here as well today. So just some of the other engagement, stakeholder engagement, what this would look like, assuming the board, this will be an agenda item, assuming it gets approval to move forward, just some of the stakeholder engagement and outreach planning that we plan moving forward. And this is what that millage would do to strengthen our foundation and compete on behalf of our students. And I'll keep going back to that. This is about having our Hillsborough County Public Schools students thrive, and the way they do that, they thrive every day when they have a consistent teacher over time, a consistent leader. We deserve what's to do, what's best for our students within our school district. So today's the 27th with our workshop. Proposed April 2nd school board vote on the resolution in the ballot language. You do have board members within your binder. You do have the resolution and ballot language that I've taken a look at, approved as well. I am in favor of it. If there's any recommendations or anything, I'd be happy to have some feedback on the ballot language. But ultimately, it comes down to what we said at the beginning. What's keeping us afloat right now is Hillsborough Strong. It is our employees that have been with us, that are sticking with us, and we deserve to do. Our students deserve the best. I don't want to sit here in years to come and see these number of vacancies that are posted. We've got to make sure that I've got a highly qualified teacher in every classroom, that I've got support staff vacancies that are filled, and in Hillsborough Strong, and I've said it from day one, everyone matters, every day matters. As we look to every day matters, it's consistency day after day, meaning kids are at school on time, or 78,000 that ride a bus every day, 800 routes. Right now, our challenge is they're just not getting to school on time. So that every day matters. With attendance, we got to make sure that we are addressing the need with the number of vacancies we have. And then everyone matters. There's no, like I said, from day one, it's all about all of us, not one person. So I look forward to the discussion. That is my review of the agenda item that'll come before in April. So thank you for the opportunity, and look forward to any discussion and feedback that you guys may have.
And before the board gets into discussing just a few procedural issues, one, you have the ballot language before you. That is draft language, and it's open to change. The ballot language is limited to 75 words, so that's a legal requirement in the statute. The other requirement that you need to be aware of is the statute requires us to send the proposed resolution to the Board of County Commissioners, who then has a mandatory duty to send it to the Supervisor of Elections. The Supervisor of Elections has to have the ballot language by mid-August, and we have those dates codified. The Superintendent and the Board is well ahead of that by having the public hearing in April. But just so you know, we have to have it to the Supervisor of Election through the County Commissioners no later than mid-August. So procedurally, that's how this proceeds.
Thank you. No other board members other than myself and Member Perez have asked to be in the queue right now. Is that correct? Okay. Do you want to go ahead first, Mr. Porter?
Yes, I'd be happy to. So Lynn Gray, Member Gray had a pre-scheduled doctor's appointment that she could not miss, but she asked me to put into the record the following. I support the referendum for the millage to be on the ballot in November of 2024. Likewise, Board Member Rendon also had a conflict that she could not miss, and she asked me to read the following into the record, which I will do now. Madam Chair, Vice Chair, and fellow board members, regrettably a prior commitment that could not be rescheduled prevents my attendance at the millage workshop on Tuesday, February 27, 2024 at 10 a.m. Thank you to the district staff, HCTA, and the superintendent for the comprehensive documentation provided in advance of the workshop. I have reviewed it thoroughly and plan to review the discussions from my fellow board members upon my return. This is a serious matter and one that deserves our time, priority, and due diligence. Thank you for allowing my comments to be read into the record.
Thank you. So seeing no other board members want to get in the queue, I'll go ahead. First of all, thank you for this presentation. I mean, so clear down to how much each employee would get based on this, making it very clear, you know, how the capital works versus operating. I mean, it was just, I don't feel like anybody could see this presentation and not understand both the need and how our finances work. So thank you for that. Oh, looks like Member Gray's coming in. Also, I just wanted to clarify, because I know one of the things that we've touched on is bus driver shortages, and I know that that's a concern across the county, not only for students necessarily getting where they need to be on time academically, but if they have free and reduced lunch, or if there's other programs they access in the morning time. So my question is, looking at this, from my understanding, we're looking at a straight $3,000 increase for our support staff. Now, the question that we can constantly bring up is, will that basically make us competitive? Because I know when we look at losing bus drivers, like our biggest competitor is Amazon or some of the other places that offer very competitive wages when it comes to our drivers. So will a $3,000 increase be enough to be competitive with Amazon and make sure that we're able to look at filling those shortages?
It's a great question. It gets us there. It gets us closer to that part of it too. Ms. Johnson and Superintendent Ayers have both made a commitment to continue to increase where we are with bus drivers, so I think it gets us further down that road. And a $3,000 jump is a much bigger jump than we could do from our traditional budget. So Ms. Johnson, Mr. Ayers, and myself will continue to keep giving increases. So yes, it gets us to a competitive spot, but as we've talked about from Ms. Johnson and Mr. Ayers, it's important that we stay fiscally responsible, meaning that we keep giving increases as we can within our budget to not be in a deficit, so that we can continue to be competitive. This just adds on to it and gets us into a good spot. So the long answer to a short question, yes, it gets us more competitive.
Okay, thank you. Secondly, I wanted to highlight that I really appreciate that the college and career counselors were included in this. Since we've reduced those, the feedback that we've gotten from all of our students and parents navigating that has been what a challenge it's been without those. And I think that that will be a game changer, especially when we talk about preparing our students for life. One of the biggest problems and challenges is navigating whether it's the financial aid process or how to apply to college. So I think that is really important, and I'm glad that you prioritize that and made sure to include that in this presentation. Also, I'm really glad that you included both the surveys from our employee unions as well as HASPA for our administrators. I had time to look through these, and I think that it's obvious, and it reinforces the things that I learned that when I go into my schools, that the two biggest issues right now are having competitive pay, which we're addressing with this, but also making sure that we have enough employees in our schools, because even if we're paying our employees the right amount, the next issue is employee burnout. And whether that means success coaches in our school, or making sure that we have enough paraprofessionals, or making sure that we're allocating enough of that support staff to where our educators can focus on the main point or the main curriculum and making sure our students are educated. My question is, aside from just expanding teacher pay, will this money allow us to also make sure that we can have a right-sized workforce when it comes to it, to make sure that we can, if there's a school that's maintaining a fragile C and they identify, like two of the schools that I went into last week, that they really attribute being able to keep that grade to the extra support that they have, will this allow us to make sure that we also have a competitive sized workforce and not just employee pay?
So I would just add to that this mill is on our operating side, so it can be used in the same respect that our other operating budget can be used as well. So that would be something. That question, as we look for additional resources in some of our schools, to me that as we look at the 1.0 mill, that would be something we would look at across all of our schools. If there are particular needs, Ms. Vaughn, that would be, on our other side of our budget, within our operating side, that we would address those particular needs. But it is open. I'm open to any feedback. If that's a direction that the board would like to take, we can do that. But that would be something that we would, through our normal process of allocating out to schools, would be as part of our normal operating budget.
Okay, I appreciate that, because I know that there's going to be a lot of questions about that going forward, because I've already had questions about that as we prepared for this workshop. The next thing that I also want to highlight is I really appreciate you kind of going over how we are property poor and student rich, and doing a chart that shows, other than PASCO, that we bring in the least amount of money in capital per student. I think that was really important. I also love how you highlighted not just like the arts and other extracurriculars that we are so valued in our schools, but really narrowed it down to what that looks like as far as expanding access to the programs we already have for our field trips, when we're talking about sports expansion, because I don't want to take away from the fact that from our student forums, the biggest thing that we heard that keeps our students engaged in schools, feeling like there's a sense of community and coming every single day, are those extracurriculars, whether it's that journalism class, that drama class, that football class. If it means that they show up just to be a part of that, that goes right along with every day matters, every student matters, because attendance is so important. So I appreciate that. I have some more points that I want to make, but I'd like to see what my fellow board members have to say, so I'm going to get back in the queue. Member Gray, thank you. I know that you just joined us. You might have missed the presentation. Did you want to speak in the queue at all before I move on? Okay. Is there anyone else who wants to get in the queue at this point? All right, Member Gray, you have the floor.
So I screeched in. Thank you, and I apologize for being late. So the genesis of the millage, and I want to be clear as well, is for, and this goes with the survey, for teacher pay. So 86% of the survey, which went out to maybe 500 teachers, is that an actual, maybe 483. So 86% have said teacher pay is the number one, force of interest or the need. So what I want to be careful, and thank you, Member Vaughn, for those remarks regarding academic programs, because what happened last time, and the last time with the former superintendent, is we got too diverse. We got too fancy. I love the arts, and I love the nature's classroom and all the other peripherals. But what happens is when you handle one or two, my thought is I want the ESE paras to be taken care of, because in this list, there's no, I mean, ESE is huge, a huge population. They get ignored too many times. That's my feedback. So when you look at academic programs and you're getting that diverse and you're subtracting perhaps the communications and the energy from teacher pay, I worry that, again, we're going to go down that rabbit hole, and our Hillsborough County PTA might be telling parents one thing and the CTA another. So I'm not going to worry, but I'm just going to say, Superintendent Van Ayers, please keep the eye on the ball. A good tennis player has to have the eye on the ball all the time. And this is to win, and you want to win. And the other point I wanted to make, CTA members, there is now not a way of taking the funds out automatically. No more automatic deduction, right, from our part. So how is their membership? Do we have a healthy, and I didn't ask Rob.
Yeah, I'd have to get Mr. Creed. I'd have to follow up with him. I'm not sure the membership numbers. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I would say that the law that went into effect on July 1st,
Come on up. Be Mr. Farkas for a minute.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you, Member Gray. Yeah, the law that went into effect on July 1st. So on June 30th, we had about 63% of our instructional unit in the union. So on July 1st, 0 because of the new law. Since then, we've added well over 7,000 members here in Hillsborough County as we're out there, talking to employees across the district. So we're building it back every single day, and we expect to maintain our ability to collectively bargain and collaborate with all of you for years to come.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, we're good to go on
Yep.
your side.
Thank you,
That's,
Mr. Creed.
Yes.
that's very valuable, because again, we had that minus last time.
Right.
So we want, that's a big plus. But basically, as Jim Porter said, my statement is to have it available for the public to vote, have it on the ballot, this particular opportunity. Financial transparency, that's on page 8. So when we talk about that, we have the biggest role modeling oversight committee. How are you going to select those folks when we start looking into implementing?
Yeah, very similar to how we did the half-penny sales tax. Those would be members that I would select to be part of the citizens oversight for the mill. So those would be selections that I would make that are representative of our community. Very similar to how we've had tremendous success, and I think what we have to build on with this millage is the tremendous success that our Citizens Oversight Committee, all the work that our team under Mr. Farkas, all the work we've done, how we have been very transparent over every penny that we've spent. So it'll be almost identical to the Citizens Oversight Committee and how every dollar is spent, but those would be selections that I would make that are leaders within our community. Yes, ma'am.
That's fantastic, because they've done a very great job and very transparent. The timeline, I see that the board meeting will be the actual vote. Last question. This is on the communication. We're looking at chart, it's in the middle of the page. It says at page 11, to gain insight in drafting the millage referendum plan, district staff met with. So it has here, obviously, school board members and the various folks and committees, charter school leaders. So how will they benefit, how will our charter schools benefit And are they on this, the same train of thought here?
Absolutely. So they'll get their proportionate share. So in some of the slides earlier of the 177 million, their proportionate share is around $26 million. So they will get 26 million that will go into their operating side and operating costs that they'll take that on.
Okay,
Yeah, so
there's
they
one
pull
of
20, so they receive their share, so this mill is not, this includes everyone, so they receive their proportionate share, and it's based on the number of students, so that right now sits at around, of the 177, sits at $26 million that go to charters that they can use for their operating side and costs. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, the next part of that question, you have right below charter school leaders, individual leaders and civic, community, and business groups. I think you should also add religious leaders, because the District 5, as Sheikh knows all too well, churches are the main parts of the communication process. So let's add religious leaders. And again, on communication, page 12, in the middle of the town hall meetings, 5 in person and 2 virtual. Just because I put on school district-wide events, the virtual seems to work best in South Tampa, so I think you need to hone in on that area. Also, on the communication on the bottom of the page, where it says including ongoing millage information on District E newsletters, don't forget the newsletter Wellbeing for You. That goes out to all employees, and also that's very popular and read throughout. Last on the communication, page 13, district sites, copy the referendum model of, oh, yes. When you remember how we did when we had the schools being renovated, Chris knows all too well, we put in those yard signs. I think that would be the great, way to advertise, and not as expensive. So I think that concludes at least my points that I wanted to cover. I am like Member Vaughn has said, I look forward to hearing all the other board comments as well. Thank you.
Thank you. And now Chair Perez.
Thank you, thank you. So it's nothing like comments without some fireworks. How will the employees at the top of the scale also be included in this increase?
Yeah, so it's everyone. So whether, if I'm a 25-year teacher, so it's important to note that we have our instructional salary schedule that we negotiate every single year. This millage is it lasts for 4 years, so the millage is a supplement. So this supplement, so if we look at teachers, for example, that's $6,000. Well, if I'm a 25-year teacher or a 1-year teacher, it's the $6,000 that they would each receive. So I think our 25 is 72. Would put them at 7, if I'm remembering right, would put them at 78. Our first-year teacher starts at 47. It'd put them at 53. 47.5 would put them at 53.5. So it's in this proposal, my recommendation, it's a straight amount across the board for teachers, the $3,000 for support staff, and then the administrator as well. Whether I'm an AP or a principal, and it's consistent across the board. We are trying to raise up, across the board, and this is the recommendation I have.
I noticed we didn't talk about Spark. How much do we receive in Spark?
So our Spark payments, for the public, the Spark payments is what our incentives we receive for as part of our transformation network to participate and teach in our transformation schools. I believe that number is 5,000. 5,000. It is part of our great question. So if I am a transformation network teacher, and just lose an example, let's say I'm a 10-year teacher, let's assume that number is 62. I would then have my $5,000 Spark payment, would put us at 67, and then this is on top of that, would put it at 73. So the transformation Spark is almost, to Ms. Vaughn's question earlier, that's on. We still have our regular operating side. This is just to help raise the floor a little bit. So that's a great question. So the Spark would be on top of this additional supplement for millage. Yes, ma'am.
So with the Spark bonus, what has our return on investment look like?
I could pull the data on our do we have, is Charm, or do we know off the top? So I'll have to get that data. I mean, I am speaking qualitatively that as we look at how we incentivize teachers to be a part of our transformation network, the Spark payment has been instrumental in helping staff our transformation network schools.
Okay.
But I can pull that data to see. So the question would be.
Are you asking how much we spend a year?
No.
Well,
Or,
how much do we receive a year, but how many teachers receive the Spark?
oh, the number.
You know?
I think Shay has that number. I did send that to Shay.
1,700 is what we're thinking? So about 1,700 teachers. So if we think 13,000 teachers we talked about earlier, 1,700 teachers receive Spark and or Renaissance payment. So 1,700 receive the incentive to teach at a transformation school.
Right? Because here in Hillsborough County, we have 1.46 million residents. Out of those 1.46 million residents, 29% are Latinos and 16% are African American, which is 664,815. And we have currently 34 failing schools.
We have Ms. McCray, what's the number of how many in our transformation?
There's 50 schools in our transformation network right now.
So 50 schools in our transformation network currently. Not all are failing. Right. So we've got many that we keep schools in our transformation network. Then a whole goal within our transformation network is for our schools to get out of transformation network and then be able to sustain their improvement over time. So it's kind of a balance that we look at which schools, we need to make sure that we are, giving extra attention to.
Right. And so in incentivizing our teachers, and I get, how is this going to help our transformation network, along with, and I'm going to say this, with transportation? We've talked about transportation, because a lot of our children, and I get these phone calls, a lot of our children who are missing, let me get to the transportation page, bus drivers here.
Yep.
A lot of, and that's on page, it doesn't have a page. You said 45 missed hours of class each year. We have kids that are 15 minutes late, and 8,000 students get to school late. And then we're looking at only a 3,000, as Member Vaughn said, a 3,000 pay rate to these support staff. And a lot of our students who are Latino and Afro-Americano, they are really supported by our support staff. Let's be transparent and honest. And I know that we have the Spark bonuses that still haven't raised that bar for our students, right? And I'm going to get back in the queue because I still have a couple more questions. In understanding how we're going to help our students, I'm looking at where you mentioned about the other districts, and I'm curious to know how many failing schools they have, how they support their students of color. Because I know Miami is doing really well. I don't think they have any failing schools at all, or maybe one. But, how are we going to support, while we're supporting our teachers, how are we going to get them to support our students?
So I would just add that this additional millage referendum, this helps us recruit and retain teachers, highly qualified teachers across the board, regardless, of whether it's transformation or our teachers that are in our traditional schools. This is across the board. And I will add to Miami-Dade, it's important to note that Miami-Dade has had their millage, their mill, probably, I think it's 7 to 8 years now, 6. 6 years they've had it. So as we want to compare, so I'm glad you're bringing that up, let's compare to Miami-Dade. When we look at, they have additional revenue that they've had over the last 6 years that we haven't. So that's a great point. As we look at how revenue and the ability to recruit and retain highly qualified teachers, if we want to get into a comparison game of comparing us, remember I talk about the FEFP equalizes funding. What has happened, and we'll use Miami-Dade, over the last 6 years, they've had additional revenue that has helped them recruit and retain, get highly qualified teachers across the board in all of their schools, which I'm sure in turn has helped. This helps all of our schools. So thank you for bringing that up. So
Yeah, because we're third in line, right, for the schools, for the, how many students we have.
Yes, we're third.
Right, we're
Yep,
third.
we're third.
So-
in the top two, Miami-Dade and Broward, they've had it. I know Miami-Dade was 6, so I have to pull Broward. But Mr. Farkas, on the buses, just because this is important, because I'm glad you mentioned buses, because as we look at the high levers in achievement, what those factors are, attendance is a critical one, and as we look at this and how is this able to help us drive student achievement, as we look at bus drivers, Mr. Farkas, with a question, was there any, as we look at routes in which schools, I don't know if I don't.
Yeah, and one of the things we talk about is routes, which is important. We have over 800 routes and, 600 drivers. But we also have absenteeism for bus drivers, just like we do for teachers. And you think of a 90% attendance rate. So in reality, we should be hiring 300 more bus drivers to get kids every single day on time, which is what almost everyone else has, suite drivers and drivers that are substitute drivers, things like that. That's not even included in the number that we share, as Mr. Ayers shared. That is just missing routes for drivers. So it has a direct impact because we make sure that when kids get to school, and administrators at school sites have done a great job, even if the bus is late, they're still going to get breakfast. Because for some of our kids, that's the only time they get breakfast. So if they're 5 minutes late to school, but it takes them another 10 minutes to eat, you miss class time. And you can't schedule classes around. You can't not have algebra first period. It doesn't work that way. So it has a direct impact on instruction. Former high school principals in the room and middle school principals, elementary, it impacts instruction when kids are coming in late. Because it's not just that kid missing. It's a disruption that causes when they walk in the classroom and everyone else turns around and sees that part of it too. So I would think there's a direct correlation between kids being late to school and a negative impact on instruction in the first period class or the beginning of the day.
Yeah, and I'll just go back to, I think, as we look at, and when we look at the number of vacancies we have, both teacher and bus driver vacancies, to think that we are operating the way that we are right now is just a testament to our employees within our school district and how hardworking they are. I can't say that enough about our culture here in Hillsborough County and doing what's best for students. So to look at those numbers and know the amount of the struggles that we're having, and whether it's the bus driver that's having to double route, the principal or AP that's having to stay after school or go to another ramp to transfer students, it's just a testament to, we should all be proud of all our employees and the work that they've done over the particularly last few years. And we just got to get to a place to where we are able to recruit and retain teachers across the board in Hillsborough County and get us competitive and equal level off that playing field.
And I'll get back in the queue.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I have myself, Member Gray, Member Combs, and then Member Perez. Is there anyone else that I need to add in the queue? Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for this discussion in general. I think we've highlighted some really good points. What I'm hearing from my fellow board members through the discussion we've had so far is, while the support and the realization that we absolutely need this is here, we still have questions about supporting some of our hard to fill vacancies and maybe revamping this so that we're prioritizing that. Whether or not we're talking about Spark Pay and making that more competitive, I don't know if it's true, and I'd love to hear, but what I've heard is that Miami-Dade pays a difference of $10,000 to $20,000 for their employees when we're talking about in their transformation schools to prioritize that. Now, I know that might not be realistic for us, but maybe increasing Spark might be something that we can look at. I agree with Member Gray. We've had an ongoing problem when we've talked about our ESE department repeatedly, and as a board we've identified that that's a priority of something that we need to address and fix. So whether it means talking about some kind of Spark Pay for our ESE employees or our paraprofessionals, when I read through this survey, one of the things our teachers highlighted the most, again, is lack of support and lack of our paraprofessionals when it comes to supporting our ESE teachers. So, that's what I'm hearing from my board members. When I look at what our employees are saying, what I'm reading is, for the most part, they understand the value of this and supporting this and absolutely needing this. Their concerns are just clarity around where the money is going to go, what that looks like, making sure we have stability and trust within our leadership. So that's what I'm seeing from our employee side. And when I hear from voters, honestly, the biggest concern that I have, I mean, we almost passed this, less than 600 voters last time, is guaranteeing it's going to keep their favorite teacher in their classroom or the teachers that they need the most. So, you know, with all of that feedback, my question is, what is our future if we don't pass this in your understanding? What are your biggest concerns? What does our future look like if we don't get this?
Future looks like what we have on the screen that I showed earlier: increased number of vacancies, bus driver shortages. This is like I told the principals last month, this is one of the most important things for the school district, maybe ever. We have never experienced a time to where, on the operational side, we are not on a level playing field because of the additional revenue that other school districts have. What's kept us afloat, again, is the employees that have been in this district for a long time. This is everything to me. I've been, listen, I'm going to be a part of this community. I'm born and raised here. I'm not going anywhere. This is what needs to happen for this community, period. I want to ensure that this is something, Ms. Vaughn, that we have to have. We have to have it to be able to compete.
Okay.
We can keep playing the game, but we keep playing the game, we're playing it like we are right now, and it's taxing our employees, to no end, having to cover for other classrooms, cover bus driver runs. Not even, we didn't even talk about our nutrition staff and the 100 vacancies that we have there. So this is ultra important for me that we get this through, and that we educate. I mean, this is really for me around educating our community around the needs for. We all want great schools. I think you ask anybody, everybody wants great schools in our community. The way we do that is we have to support schools, and it starts with having, number one, the lever I put up there, which was having a great, highly qualified teacher over time. We can't have teachers that are leaving mid-year to go take a job somewhere else to make more money. And we've got to really get to a place to where we are highly competitive. And if people make a choice that they want to move out of education, that's one thing, but not for financial reasons, when we can try to, help and assist as much as we can. And to your question around Transformation Network and Spark Payment, I mean, that could be something that we look at if we wanted to. We talked about the other 8%. That's $11 million. If the board decides and we decide that we want to carve, $1 million out of that to give to our as part of Spark Incentive and Transformation, we can do that. There's some flexibility there within that operating budget to do that with salary. So that is all open and I'm thank you for bringing that up, because I hadn't even thought of that one, but that could be something that we could look at in the future. Again, we still have another month before this agenda item comes forward, so that's actually, thank you for that feedback there. Yeah.
Well, thank you for your honest answers. I think that's important to know, where you as our leader, where do you see if we aren't able to pass this? I do also want to mention one thing we haven't brought up is our assistant principals and the challenge of making sure we have a pipeline. Again, what we talk about and what I've seen in your presentation repeatedly is stability. Stability in our teachers, stability in our leadership, all the way from the classroom up into the district. And one of the challenges, aside from the teacher pipeline, is our leadership when it comes to our assistant principals and our principal pipeline. And some of the biggest concerns right now are how much we pay our assistant principals, and the fact that they might be an assistant principal and making less than a teacher who's been in our district forever. Thank you for acknowledging that right now our success is due to our dedicated employees, and mostly our teachers who have been here and stay with that. I do appreciate that. So I think, again, addressing kind of these issues, whether we're talking about ESE, Spark, or making sure that we have competitive pay when it comes to leadership and building a pipeline of leadership, is all really important for us to talk about as a board. I support this 100%, not just because I see the value in it, but also because I believe that, it's up to the voters, that, our community almost told us that they wanted to to pass this, that they value this. I think there was some issues with trust at that time in the community, but I think that we as a board and with your leadership have worked really hard to overcome a lot of that, to be extremely transparent, to have high-level conversations, to build relationships with each other and the community. And so I think that we've built that trust, and right now is the time to give voters that opportunity to decide whether this is something they want to prioritize. As you mentioned, you know, having strong public schools is an asset to every community. Access to quality, equalized education is the foundation of democracy, and I say that over and over again. So we have to do everything we can as a district to prioritize education and our students and our families. So I appreciate this workshop and you bringing this forward. Member Gray, you're next in the queue.
I want to talk about the forms of revenue that we have. Mr. Farkas, the impact fees that we successfully got 3-4 years ago, how much are we getting for that? The BOCC mentioned that we are in good shape with impact fees and the upcoming millage, because the millage will be for operating and not capital, but impact fees is for capital. How much on a, you know?
I think the easiest way, it's a great question. I think the easiest way to kind of forecast that is talk about the next 5 years. And it's kind of what Superintendent Ayers talked about at the beginning, which is we have about $450 million in needs in new construction through 2031, and we're only going to get about $210 million in impact fees. Again, that's a projection because it's all based on who actually pulls the permit and builds the homes. So we, in the next 5 years, have about half of what we need from an impact fee standpoint. So over the next 5 years, we're gathered to make about $210 million.
And that's really a very big point, because if you look at just 2 schools that we did renovations, Riverview and I think it was Shields, came up to $100 million in capital funds just for renovations, just for those 2 schools. So back to you, Superintendent Van Ayers, if we do not get the CIT inclusion, this is big. This is very, very critical, because just, again, for 2 schools, $180 million. And when we look at the impact fees, which in no way pay for the amount of capital needs that we will have, it is critical that we get and become part of that CIT. Your remarks.
And I had mentioned that earlier in the workshop right at the beginning. I did talk about all that the CIT has done for the district since 1996, all the monies that have come in, what we put it into. But it is, I will be out. We did send a letter out to our county commissioners, asking them, to make sure that we are, they listen to us, that we have a place. It is a community investment tax, and schools are a big part of the community. But those impact fees that you mentioned around 8,000, that number would probably need to be around 16,000 for impact fees to keep up with the number of schools, the bill that we have in Plant City, Waimama, Plant City Career Center over the next number of years. So that number, and we're thankful and thankful that it even got to the 8,000, that has helped us offset some of this cost. But it's important for everyone to know we don't get money for new construction. It doesn't. We talked about the 1.5 capitals that was out there based on our property tax values. We don't get money from anywhere that says, hey, here's some money, go build some schools. It all has to be generated from impact fees or that 1.5 capitals that we generate. And we already, as you mentioned earlier, we're not a school district that's a property rich, student poor school district. We're property poor, so we don't generate the value in our from property taxes to be able to keep up with construction. That's why Hillsborough County is a little bit different. That was why we had the need in '96, and that's why we have the need now.
And I'm sure you brought up to the board that the millage that we're asking for in 2008, we actually had that, and then they reduced it. So we're really going right back to. And still a minus.
No, thank you. So back in once again, it was the capital mill. The slide I had up there that listed 1.5 mills, and the money we generate back in 2007, it was 2 mills. Yeah. The next year it went to 1.75, and the following year it dropped to 1.5. So it is not recovered from the 2.0 to 1.5, since obviously 2008. So that's 15 years. And again, that goes back to the reduction in capital, the mills for capital. That's why we were desperate in 2016 when we could not keep up with our capital costs. Because of that point, the millage was dropped. We're a property poor school district. We needed the half penny, and thankfully this half penny has put our schools in a position. We're halfway through, and again, I can't thank the Citizens Oversight Committee, our entire team, of what they've done over the last 5 years. Our schools are improving with their buildings. There are, I just can't say enough about the work of not only our team but our Oversight Committee and ensuring, like we'll have on the millage side as well, assuming it passed, assuming that they are holding us accountable to ensure that every dollar we spend is what he said it was going to go towards.
And it's such a shame that we get to this dire situation again now with the shortage of teachers, but I won't go into that, emotionality, frustration. The absenteeism is the number one priority. And the point was made about the bus drivers. And Chris, we're almost 360-something bus drivers short per day on any given day. And I think when we talk about the priorities, you have to think, that has to be part of the priority type discussion, as well as the paras. Paras are forgotten all of the time, yet they are instrumental to the teacher in delivering lessons and backup. So, I'm just putting those words out there because those are words that mean a lot to successful teaching, effective teachers, and getting the kids through that third grade, the third grade challenge of literacy. The next point I want to say is a point that's been brought up. We know that there's tough schools. We know there's safety issues. We know that there's schools in high needs areas. We call a group of them transformation. Last time, a few years ago, we called them something else. I can't remember. Well, yeah, achievement schools. And before that, we had another title. So, we're grouping schools, but in truth, the reality is, and Shay knows all too well, the analogies over and over show a transformation school. It might not be named transformation, but it is in fact high needs. So we have to go ahead and think as a board, and I hope that, I'm sure this board will agree, we have to make sure that those teachers in that more difficult situation, and ESE teachers, need to have a payment relevant to the increased amount of work. And that all that goes to principals and APs. And I'm Superintendent Van Ayers, I'm sharing this with you because it's when we start to go out for more money, we have to have, Rob Crete, thank you, and Val Churchman, we have to have supporters that hear that, hey, we know you're in a tough school. We know the literacy is 1 or 2. We know that you have to get more energy and more resources and more collective collaboration and more, everything to support those students. So anyway, it's enough said, but I definitely think that's a presentation part that needs to be included. And again, and I just say this with utmost caution, you hear me saying, and everyone in the audience, oh, let's pay attention to the ESE, and let's pay attention to the paras, and let's pay attention to the bus drivers. So we got to be careful, again, if we're citing we're interested only in the teacher pay, but so I this is going to be, you have to craft it in a way where, we're not getting too flamboyant and confusing to the public, right? Go ahead.
And I agree. That's why my proposal is straight across for teachers, support staff, and administrators, and I outlined the amount earlier because it is about everyone, and the support staff is everyone is critical to the success of our students across the board. You can't start to say, well, one's more important than the other. Everybody's important, right? So it's, point heard, and I just wanted to make sure that this supplement to the millage was very clear to all of our employees about what that would look like and what they might receive, because it's about everyone. Everyone matters, right? So making sure that we've got that clear, that all of our employees are supported in this, because in the end, we're a people business. That's what we're about. We're about when our kids are, in order for our students to succeed, it's about having, number one, high quality staff that surround them and support them. And Ms. Perez's comments earlier, it could be a support staff personnel, it could be a ESE para, it could be a secretary in an office, it could be a teacher. So it's important that we have high qualified individuals across the board. So thank you.
And the fact that you're listening and hearing from board members who care about the students themselves very, very deeply is so important, because a lot of this has to come from the heart and the passion that we have as a student-centered superintendent and a board. So, every citizen has children, loved ones, and grandparents have their grandchildren, but we need for this to be successful, and it needs to be on the ballot. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Gray. Member Combs, you're next in the queue.
Thank you, Member Vaughn. I want to say this is a great job, this folder, this notebook, all the details. I mean, it was I like the way it was broken out. Very clean, very clear, I think, with all of it. And I just had a couple questions. When you discuss the what we would be paying, have you talked to CTA and HASA when you came up with the salary structure from that? Did you get input, or who did you get input from?
Absolutely. So this is about we're a collaborative across the board. So I have extensive conversations with Rob, Iran as well. I mean, this is something that I'm not going to go out and do on my own without getting input from everyone. So to answer the question, yes.
I mean, I knew you did do that, but I just wanted to make sure, I think, for everybody in the community to know that, that the union has spoken to you and that the principals have spoken to you. I think what's interesting is when I'm looking at the inadequate funding, just yesterday, we were talking about what kind of funding would we get from the state this year, and it looked like it was going to be maybe $220, and people were very excited because it was going to be an increase from $120. And I thought to myself, if you add a zero to that, and you added $2,200, you would still actually be below the average of the U.S. Census. So I just want to point that out. If we added from 4,700, we added 2,200, we'd be 6,900. We'd still be almost $1,000 off the average. So when you're looking at where we're living in Hillsborough County, which is the highest inflation rate, and then you're not even paying teachers. And I have to say that some people may say, well, that's a reason not to pass the tax, but we are the largest employer of Hillsborough County. So there's somebody who's impacted by a teacher in their family or their siblings or somebody. So everybody's being impacted. So I think that's really important. When we went to the State of the Region and they talked about how much people are paying for their homes here and what they're paying for their taxes or all of that, it's really unheard of. I don't even understand how teachers are living here and how this district is going to continue to thrive. And so when you go out there, often you're hearing people saying, I don't live in Hillsborough County anymore. I live in Wesley Chapel, or I live, Newport Richey or whatever. And so if you can turn around and work in that district that's cheaper to live in and you're going to get paid more, why wouldn't you go? So I think that the biggest thing is not just keeping people here, it's attracting people as well. I think that's the biggest thing is you're not going to have people working till 90 or 100 years old, right? So how are we attracting new people, and why would new people want to come to Hillsborough County no matter how Hillsborough strong it is? So those are just, when you look at the taxable amount, and I think that's really important when people think that they're going to pay $2,000, they're not going to pay that. That's really important. I think that was kind of misinformation last time. So just a couple things that I think that we've done to really work hard. I think there's been a lot of push to financial stability, and Ro Johnson, I know you've worked very hard at that, and it has been to, people have been upset. It's been very hard. It's very hard out there at the schools right now. I will say there's a lot of job openings. There's a lot of, when you talk about going to the transformation schools, not only you going to work with challenging students and challenging environment, but you're also going to work in an environment where you're going to have to cover a whole bunch of extra classes that you didn't know because people aren't there. So it's so much more to attract someone than just pay. There's a lot of components of that. So I think the financial stability, I think having such clean audits for people to know that we have a very clean audit. We just had a very clean audit, that our bond rating is going up. That's really important. I think looking at repurposing some of the schools that we're repurposing and what we're doing, I think that's very important to let the community know, and that we're going to continue looking at that because we really need to right size not this district, but we need to right size schools. Like I say over and over, we can't keep schools that are so under enrolled even if it's convenient for families, it's better if we put those resources back out to the schools and make the schools the way they were supposed to make, which is, a stable school. If a principal's overseeing 800 elementary school students, and then another one's overseeing 180 students, how's that equitable for anyone? And how do we not use those resources to go back data processors, secretaries, ESE specialists, ESE teachers, and all of that? And then I see that there's big decrease in the workforce. I think that's very important for people to know that we don't have as many layers as we had before. Our workforce is much thinner. And then that we look at every single contract that comes through. I mean, as small, as large as it is, I know that I look at every single contract, and I know this board does as well, and then working closely with HCTA. I think some of the mistakes that we made last time, the campaign has to be focused around students, because that's what we're talking about, getting students on time to school, so that way they can have a breakfast, getting students to a classroom where they have a certified teacher, where they don't have an opening for an assistant principal for 6 months, getting security to the students so that way they're protected, getting students that music and art program that they're missing, making sure those career resources. I think it's really important. The marketing needs to be around students, because that's, at the end of the day, that's why we're here, because we wouldn't be here if we didn't have those customers. And then really focusing on those levels we talk about, our students who are most in need, the ESE and our ELL students, because that's a huge number of students, and their needs are coming in, and kids are noticing those needs, how much they need. And finally, really going out to the stakeholder meetings. I think it's going to be really, really important to engage with so many people and build that trust. I can think of many things that we did wrong. And at the end of the day, when I go into that voting booth, I'm going to have one vote just like everyone else. And if you look at the surrounding school districts, it didn't matter what they were, nonpartisan. The whole board supported it because they wanted the taxpayer to choose that. If you're showing a cohesive board and you're saying, it doesn't matter what political party you belong to, let the voters choose. That as a school board, we see that we're at the very bottom of inadequate. We're 50th. Let us see as a board that we're cohesive, just like all the surrounding other boards. I hope to see that.
Thank you, Member Combs. Member Washington, you're next in the queue.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Superintendent, you have done a great job with the preparation. The board has asked some good questions because the public needs to understand. One of the things that I'm sitting here thinking about, I have been a teacher all the way through the school system. A lot of times, money is important, but leadership is quite important too. Leadership is the key. That's the key to success. And maybe we can take some of these monies and train a little bit more in certain areas that need to be trained in, because I think that's important. Being transparent. When we stand up, we said, man, we got $350,000, $350 million or whatever we have. When people look at that, they say they have money. Why they can't do all of this? But we don't do a good job explaining how the budget works to the public. I think that's important, because the people in the community don't know how the budget works. I talk to people all the time. They say, "Shake, man, y'all got all that money. Y'all still want money." But they don't know how the budget works. They don't know how you can't take out of one bucket and put it in another bucket. Those are some of the communications I think that we need to do, Superintendent, so the public can understand when we go out selling this program, because it's a sale. We got to sell it. And when we go out and sell it, and we got to say, yeah, we got this amount of money, but you can't do A, you can't do B out of that bucket. So people will understand. And Ms. Johnson, you've done a great job to get us back where we should be. And I think we can be successful if we go the right way and go out to the community and explain to the community what's going on. Because I know we're living in tough times. I mean, it's hard times now. So if somebody's spending that money or voting to spend that money, they need to know exactly what we are doing with that money. That's the point. Making sure they know, making sure that we know the money can't just be moved anywhere in the budget. And in closing, I'm for it. I'm going. I think we can do it. But we got to really push hard and sell the program. Because some people not going to buy it, no matter what. You could give away gold, and some people don't want that gold. They want more. They want something else. So we got to make sure that we go out and be sales and sell it 100% and not listen to the community. Because I think the last time we really didn't pay attention to the community, and we didn't have a lot of backing. But if we go out and do the things we're supposed to do, I think we can be successful. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Member Washington. Superintendent Ayers, you wanted to make a comment?
Just wanted to kind of sum some things up from the comments I heard from Member Combs and Member Washington. Just back to our two buckets that I put up there again, capital and operating. Reminder again that our capital is just based on our taxable land values that we have, not based on students, not based on need. It's just strictly based on that value. Hence the need for the half-penny sales tax. Hence the need for continued involvement in the community investment tax in the future to keep up the $8,000 impact fee is not enough to be able to keep up with the future growth in Waimama and Plant City, particularly over the next 5 to 10 years. What I would also add, just on the operating side, just as an example, remember the FEFP is a great system that equalizes funding across school districts because it bases it on number of students, right? So it's a great system. Our issue then becomes when we have additional revenue that other districts are able to bring in that we do not. So I want to be clear, the FEFP is a system in which equalizes funding, makes it fair across the board for other school districts. To give you an example, within the FEFP, you can, all the school districts levy a .748 called discretionary operating millage, okay? We can levy an additional .748. So we get that money. Within the FEFP system, we actually get a supplement in Hillsborough County that's within the FEFP system because we don't meet the state average for property tax values. So that's an example of within the operating budget how the FEFP takes and equalizes funding because they say, heck, Hillsborough with their .748 doesn't even reach the state average in property tax values and what we bring in, so they add a supplement within the FEFP to bring us just to the statewide average. I'm not competing with other districts that have higher property values, but that's an example of the FEFP and how it's a system that helps equalize funding based on number of students. Capital based on value, operating based on number of students. Our issue becomes to be competitive. Like I mentioned earlier, we've got to equalize the revenue that we bring in. We're just in an unfair advantage right now to be able to compete. So, Ms. Johnson, I know you want to add. Yes, ma'am.
I'd just like to add on to that, Superintendent. Once that $330 million is in the fund balance, that's one-time money. Reoccurring costs cannot be added to that one-time money. So I just want to explain that because people see that fund balance and it's so high, but it's not recurring dollars. It's just becomes one-time money. And we definitely need a fund balance, as you know, so we don't have to borrow for unforeseen circumstances that can happen and to support our paying out our payroll also because we have a cash flow issue in October. So those the reason and the rationale that fund balance is the way it is because our property tax doesn't come in until end of November and December.
Thank you, board members. We only have less than 15 minutes left, and I'm going to make a very, very brief comment, and I know Member Gray wanted to make a very brief comment, and then Member Perez is going to make closing comments. I just really want to thank all of my fellow board members for this. I think this has been so incredibly important, and I have valued every single perspective that's been shared here today. I agree with Member Combs that while we at the district level have a lot of ideas because we spend so much time in our schools and talking to our employees about how we need to prioritize certain things, especially our critical positions that we're having a challenge filling, we have to stay focused that this is for our students and for our teachers and teacher pay. Absolutely, 100%. That is what the public has made clear to us that they value. And so even though we're having this conversation, I think our messaging, and to Member Gray's point, has to be crystal clear that this is about our students and about our teachers and keeping our qualified, amazing teachers in front of our students for student success. So I appreciate that. I have one question, Mr. Farkas. I know we talked about how this would bring starting pay for our teachers up to $53,000. Where does that place us statewide as far as being competitive? What are the other districts are we looking at when we look at starting teacher pay?
Starting teacher pay? I don't know that off the top of my head, so I have to defer.
Okay. That was, oh. Yes.
Where we line up average teacher income, support staff, as well, what it lists, where we would be with this additional supplement.
Which would be where? I can't see that far.
Starting teacher put us 4,000 higher than Pasco, 1,500 higher than Pinellas, which is a key one for us.
And do we know which district pays the highest starting teacher pay right now in Florida?
Manatee, and Manatee starts at 55, I think, starting, and I know in Sarasota they're pretty close to 55, and I think in Sarasota with a master's degree you start at 60.
Okay. Okay. I did.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry. Oh.
Okay, you can get back to me on that. Thank you very much. Member Gray, a brief statement, and then we'll go to Member Perez.
Okay, brief statement. I agree with Member Combs that all the board, Member Combs, I agree with you that we all have to sell this. We are one big family of board members, so it's going to be very, very important. Second, trust is built on communicating. Ms. Johnson, you did a wonderful job, Ms. Garcia, with these audits. We keep getting tremendous positive audits over in the CAFR, the Council of Great City Schools. Why are we not, I shared it from the dais, why are we not being more precocious and sharing that we are very fiscally sound and realistic and relevant? So, you're here to listen to comments. We're making comments, and I just think those audits need to be definitely communicated. Thank you. See, that was quick.
Thank you. And last but not least, our chair, Member Perez.
Thank you. So I just, I was out in the community and getting a lot of feedback, especially from our community members, the parents who are going to be affected by this. I provided the statistics from our community, from our Latino and Afro-Americanos that are paying the taxes as well. And their feedback to me was that while their students are attending the schools, these schools are failing their students. So, that, and their students are being called challenging, but we have to remember, Superintendent, that a lot of these students have been disenfranchised. They're being moved, on a regular basis. Recently, their schools have been closed and repurposed, and their parents just want to find out, with the competitive pay, is there a guarantee that the teachers will go to these high-need schools and serve these students? What is that going to look like for them? Because they too will be affected. And, they want to know. The community at large wants to know that their students will be served and their students will be lifted, and, that their students will be targeted to be also addressed in all this.
So my response would be that with this additional supplement, this is for across the board. This is to ensure we have highly qualified teachers across the board. What we can look at over the next couple of weeks is within that additional 11%, the 11 million, the 8%, if we want to take a look and see if there's additional monies we want to allocate, if we wanted to look at incentives within our transformation network, we can absolutely do that. But this is to cure the vacancy challenge that we have across the board. So this is, in a lot of our vacancies, across the board, this is to ensure that we have highly qualified teachers in all of our classrooms.
And I want to thank all three of you for putting together such a great presentation. And Mrs. Johnson, thank you so much for keeping us, above the fray since you've been here. Thank you. And with that, seeing no other comments, this meeting is adjourned.